Fresno State did as well as you could have hoped for this weekend in New Mexico, getting 2 out of 3 at that ballpark. All right, I knew the regular season title was out question after the last two horrendous weekends. They had just taken care of a fifth place San Jose State Spartan team last week and avoided getting swept in Reno. They are the regular season champs. But they didn't, so they get the 2 seed and they get the bye, and that really is what matters in the Mountain West tournament. Now, this weekend, I mean, that it was a gritty series win. Anchor pitched a great game, despite what you might think in the box score. 5 runs in New Mexico is like giving up 1 at sea level. That win in game 2, that was a really gritty championship team type win. You'd like to see JT Guerrero stop giving up home runs at some point, but hopefully at sea level in Mesa this week, that won't happen. Aiden Cramarosa gave us every drop of sweat he could in game 2 as well. So, as a whole, I thought the pitching did fine for what you could expect at Albuquerque. Could they have won game 3? Yeah, but you knew that New Mexico was going to get 1. And I'd rather them get that 1 than they face the Bulldogs in the Mountain West tournament. Get a win there. And, let them enjoy that last senior day win. They're not winning the Mountain West tournament. They're just not. They don't have the pitching to do it. And speaking of the Mountain West tournament, that's going to start Thursday for Fresno State at 6 p.m. They are going to be playing the winner of the San Jose State New Mexico do or die game from the day before. So in theory, the team that the Bulldogs play will be tired, or at the very least have some of their pitching used up. If the Bulldogs just play with their heads straight, they win this tournament. Bottom line, all right? The series they lost this weekend were mostly due to their own mistakes, like a starting pitcher having a bad day. You leave 11 men on base or more on a game. You had umpires being weird at best. So, there's not been a series so far this year where I felt the other team just straight up beat Fresno State when Fresno State was not making mistakes. And if the Bulldogs play to the level that they're capable of, they will win this tournament. But this is not like the 2019 team, 2011, where they were just so much better than everyone else, they could play a C- game and win it. They're not that. If Jack Anker has a clunker, the Bulldogs could go into the Friday loses bracket. But if he pitches great and Cramarosa pitches great like he has been at sea level, the Bulldogs should get to the championship level game. And I think if they do get to that championship level, they will outlast whoever faces them, because I don't think the rest of the Mountain West teams have the type of pitching depth that will allow them to go through the losers bracket and win against a Fresno State. Now, that doesn't mean Fresno State, if they lose a game, can do that either. They did it last year, but this year they have a lot more pitching absences. Now, they got 2 guys back this past week. Well, one guy, Hayden Cruz, he pitched the midweek game. Townsend, they're thinking, should be back for the tournament. So you could get 2 of those 5 arms back. But we'll see how they look. Cruz looked okay against Pacific this earlier week. But, that's Pacific, not a team in the Mountain West trying to get a championship. Paul Leffler has talked about all year long about the character of this team, how determined they are, and so forth, after all the adversity they've gone through. And let's be clear about this so far. They have been a very disappointing team. They should have run away with the regular season title, all right? The fact that they didn't is a massive disappointment, as I said earlier. But the one that really matters is the Mountain West tournament title, like last season. And if this team wins the title and goes to the NCAAs, it'll be looked back fondly. If they don't, it'll be one of the biggest disappointments in Fresno State baseball history, with the expectations that were coming in. And we'll find out later in the week. That's the nice thing about sports. But, this is a team that's capable of laying you down. Should they win it? Yes. Will they? Don't know.